Mm. What's up? What's up? What's up? Look, I don't know, a couple of hours ago, looked like Chud was out streaming. He saw some people. He said people were making fun of him. So he went over, and when he went over there, they got into a confrontation. And this is where, and there's no video. We believe there's no video. He got into a confrontation with someone, and in the process, they're saying a man was deleted. Now, publicly, the man who got deleted, they haven't contacted the family, etc. So they're going through the process. But there were a bunch of people there, and there are people on Twitter. There are people on Twitter scream saying that the man lost his life. They're saying Chud shot himself, or there was a shooting. They're doing an investigation. They don't know exactly. But anyhow, Chud was taken to the hospital. The man had to be evacuated. And there's a tweet Chud has that he was deliberately trying to do it. He said that he would be found not guilty, and you chimps will riot. And that's what he said he was trying to accomplish. And it seems like there might be some logic there. Now, it is illegal to incitement, right? You can't incite people. There's a bunch of laws that cover free speech. I'm saying as far as you can have free speech, but if that speech is provocative, if it's hate speech, if you're trying to say something to create a riot, you hope that you're trying to accomplish a race riot, all of that, that's illegal. It's already on the books. It's not even a question of new territory. It's right there on the books. And he's left a lot of stuff on his social media that's pretty revealing about his intentions and what he wants. What his intentions are is right there in front of you. And they still got the audio. They have the audio out. I'm not going to play it. It's an audio where he gives you his version, how he went over to them, accused them of making fun of him. He then says the guy told him to get away from him with all the chimp out stuff. And then Chud says he left and the guy attacked him. And some kind of way, this man was shot or something, or Chud, something happened right there. They're trying to figure that one out. And they're also suggesting that that even with the man coming up, if the man equal force, you also have intention. You have a man on his social media account saying he's looking to shoot someone. He gets into some type of confrontation with someone. A man is medevaced. This has been reported. It's not been reported by officials. It's unconfirmed. A man is deleted. Chud in the process is shot. They're trying to confirm if he did it and where things are going to go. Now, there's also post on his social media where he's saying he's trying to provoke a race riot. So all this stuff right here is unconfirmed. We're trying to figure these things out. It would be interesting if they ignore his social media. I'm talking about from a standpoint of legal. If they look at the video cameras, they look at the information, They talk to the witnesses, and they come back and say, we don't see a problem here. And he's right back walking up and down the streets trying to shoot more people. And he's posting his stuff on his social media. And what people are saying, like I said, in all of this race riot, I think that that's a reach, but I do think that he can start some type of riot within the legal system, because you can see where the problems of him being found not guilty of a crime. You can see that. It's very possible. Very possible his behavior can create the climate that facilitates civil discord and civil disorder. And these things, if I understand it, these are all illegal things. You know what? You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. You can't incite people with the intention to, quote unquote, defend yourself. And we'll see. And maybe Chud, and I saw the video he made about his kid, and he was living in a trailer park, he got a trailer or something. I saw the video, and it was sad to see that. It was sad to see the guy, because you got to understand, you got to wonder what's going on with this guy. Why would a grown man, do this? Why would he do it? And he said he was going through some bad times, and he makes that video in less than 24 hours? In less than 24 hours, he's right back at it. He's right back out there being a problem. And maybe an individual has left us. And when does it stop? When is this stuff gonna stop? You're gonna continually push this guy? What's the point? And he's also having copycats. There are some people on the stream. They're not as big, but they're doing the same thing. There are other people that's coming in behind him. There's a guy, he got into a fight. There was a guy, he got into an argument, he got into a fight. He was getting kicked out of a club. He started dropping N-bombs. So one has to conclude, when does it stop, man? How far is this going to go? And what could be the point? Chud got shot out and about in probably less than 24 hours after having looked like he cried on his stream. It looked like it. And now I guess he's going to do some type of himself individually. He's going to, on some crusade, to alter, I don't know, race relations, race conditions. And it's very, very, people are looking and saying it's very possible this guy is trying to trigger a race riot amongst the people, amongst us. So, and we see the wealthy and the elites, the people are standing on top. And if the people on the body on the bottom are racially divided, they will have no power. When you take a look at the midterms, all of the redistricting, now you have chuds. You have various chuds throughout the South, I know in the South, deliberately harassing black people, trying to agitate these people into some type of emotional outburst, and then using weapons on these people. And you have no The president certainly has not said anything. He doesn't care. The president doesn't care. As long as it's a white guy, he doesn't care. He only cares about, I mean, as long as it's a black guy, he doesn't care. He only cares about white guys. We saw him embracing Jordan. Was it Jordan? The Jordan Neely, right? The guy on the subway train. Remember the guy on the train? He choked the homeless. There was a man, he choked a homeless Michael Jackson impersonator. There was a Michael Jackson impersonator. The man had mental illness. It was untreated. Even the man's social worker had said that they were trying their best, but they was running out of money. The man was hanging around the subway system, and for a couple of quarters, he'd give you a Michael Jackson dance. He'll give you a couple of jigs, and in exchange, he asked for a couple of dimes, a couple of quarters. You had to give him anything. And there was some mental issues right there. Anyhow, he got into some type of confrontation, and a man, or what's the guy? Trump made a big deal about this guy. This guy choked. He choked the Michael Jackson impersonator out, and he did it on video, and we all watched it. I thought that was sick. They played that. You can go and look at that video right now. That video is not edited in any kind of way. It's almost like the man, it's not even a man. They take this man's life. Trump heralded him. Trump thought he was the greatest thing in the world. And I'm thinking if this homeless, or this guy, I don't know what, I'm not assuming he's home. This man who confronted Chud, will Trump throw him a big party? Will he invite him into the White House? Is this where we stand now? Will he celebrate him? Will he talk about freedom of speech? Will he make a big deal? Or is this guy inciting people? And there are laws on the books about incitement. I can't go get on a soapbox and have a speech, and within that speech, I incite people to then do things illegally. I can be held accountable for that. But you say, well, that's free speech. Well, it is to a point. It depends on what you say. Well, then there's no free speech. Okay, there's no free speech. And there's never been any free speech. It does matter what you say. That's just matters what you say. And using racial slurs is disrespectful to the blacks. It's very disrespectful to blacks to just use racial slurs in hopes that you can then empty a weapon. And then instead of being the proper message being sent out to the public, he's given rewards and he's put on a pedestal. And we're supposed to buy into this. And he got into a situation where he popped his own self. That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. In the meantime, unconfirmed, there's beliefs that he did take a man's life today. Yep. They're saying Chud is an American hero, and this is about free speech. His pursuit was about bringing back free speech. He should be back outside by the weekend. Yeah, and it sort of is taking off the stigma of the pegging. Is taken off on that pegging stigma. People believe that he was being. People believe in some kind of way. I mean, well, the lady came. Well, the lady came out. The peg lady came out and said that they were together. He never denied it. He's never denied it. And now that this happened, people have sort of taken their eyes from that. To say he's working for Zionists to start a race war. Yeah. Say, yeah, to use a weapon, you have to fear for your life. And he didn't fear for his life. Look, whatever happened, getting punched doesn't mean you get to. It doesn't mean that people have gotten it with their pens. You can go into court and you can lie. You can say you felt like you fear for your life. But starting a fight, Yeah, if you start a fight and then you get punched, it doesn't give you the right to take someone's life, which is now another issue that we have to struggle and figure out as we go through these major changes. Yep, yep. And they don't know. It's unconfirmed. Like I'm saying, he shot him. It doesn't give you any facts. Just saying he got shot while he was in this incident, and the whole harassing black people. For a lot of people, that doesn't matter. And they saying a lot of people wanted this to happen, and they're happy that this happened. Um, there's already a GoFundMe put up, for his legal affairs. Yep, he's made CNN now. Yeah, yeah, he wanted it to go there. It's there now. They finally picked up on it. A live streamer known for posting controversial videos with racial content. Oh, they put the videos of that? The one where he called Trump yeah, I saw that one. And he's saying this now. He said he asked the man, he got okay. He was walking down the street. There were some people who were pointing and looking at him. I guess he decided to engage them. He walks toward them. Within that, there's a conversation. There's a statement about, "Are you going to chimp out?" And he said that's when the man walked up and sucker punched him, and that's when all the other stuff happened. And we'll see how it plays out, man. A lot of people do the live stream. Um, yeah, if anything, they're going to come up with which I don't have a problem with. They're going to come up with laws saying you can't just be out here harassing people, for content. You just can't go out here. Somebody's out and about. They got their kid with them, and you want to do some prank. You got a fake snake. You got a spider, and you want to do some content, and you're scaring them. You think, yeah, they're going to come up with. You can't do that, and they need to take a look at that. His mission was to antagonize black people with the hopes of deleting one, with the hopes that he would be found not guilty, and his real hope they can then start a race war. That's what he's saying. They're going to riot, and then we'll get this race war popped off, and then we can go back to we want to go back to the South, the old before the Civil War, when we could put a drop on these Negroes. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a couple of people saying that Negro chimped out and he found out. Says Chud shot a black guy after calling him a nigger and then grazed himself in the arm accidentally when the guy rushed him for the gun after he shot him. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm looking at his arm. I'm looking at his arm. Let me see. Yeah, now on the part about the guy rushed him on that one, yeah, it's saying it's right here. I'm looking at the tweet. Series final is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting while I walk when I walk free. Oh, there you go. There you go. you had any doubt or about why he was doing it, there you go. There's so many ways that this guy is guilty of committing a crime. I mean, he's almost just putting it on his social media. He's telling you, I'm going to go out here and film myself committing a crime. And hopefully, I can get someone to lose their temper. And then I can, I can shoot them. But then I can turn around and say, and all of this stuff is on his social media. I can then come around and say it was a noble cause because it was about First Amendment rights. Even though I'm living in a trailer, I'm crying on my streams about my relations with my family. I'm being asked to leave restaurants. I'm being arrested for not paying my bill in the restaurant. And I got all of these problems, even though despite those problems, I gotta walk this path. I gotta sacrifice because we need free speech. We need to have the right to say nigger, which everybody has the right to. Well, you can say it if you want to. Nothing's stopping you from saying it. But what I'm saying is that's basically what this whole crusade is for. And then what would be the point? So what? We have a race riot, and then what? So you go and have a race riot to a guy that's currently living in a trailer home. And people suggest there's someone in the shadows. You know it is. There's some money back there. And there is a desire to keep this stuff, keep the races at each other's throats so that the people in power can stay in power. And you need guys like this. You need a guy like this so that you can, if you're trying to keep the people from the polls, if you can get something going with racial thing, you can then turn around and cancel these elections. You can take a guy like this and crash him out, and you accomplish it right in daylight. You accomplish all these goals, and it is going to depend on how they prosecute this man. Are they going to let him go? Are they going to think about it? There's so many other laws. Public nuisance. You can't be a public nuisance. You can't. I can't go down there. I can't go to Bourbon Street. I can't go to Bourbon Street and every night I cut a food. Every night, people, foreigners, tourists see me being arrested, see me being asked to leave. I can't do that. I can't do it. They won't allow me to do something like that. They will refuse to let me do something like that. They'll arrest me. They'll say we don't want you. They'll trespass me. They'll say we don't want you coming down here starting trouble because for the last couple of weekends we've had to come in and arrest you. You was arguing over a bill. You were harassing people. They'll just trespass you and say you can't come down here. Why wasn't this guy trespassed? Why didn't anybody say, hey, let's trespass this guy to keep this guy walking around? They didn't do it. So in the process now, you got a man who's officially, it hasn't been released, but they're saying he's lost his life. Officially, no. But unofficially, people who are on the scene saying that man was lost, that man was gone. So this is wild, man. It's almost like this was like a big story and just keep up with it. And we saw it. Now check this out. Here he is right here. That's a tweet. 48 minutes ago. I don't know what day it was. But anyhow, that's a tweet. And he says, serious finality is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned. Yeah, you can take that into a court, man. You can say this was premeditation. You can go in there and say this was premeditation. This guy was premeditated a a situation where he was trying to jump off a race riot. He was trying his best to jump off a race riot. And this is what he was putting on his social media. All of this, I'm going to go out, I'm going to aggravate, antagonize, be disruptive, to use racial slurs, which is it's illegal to do that. So I'm saying if you want to just say, hey, free speech, this guy wasn't doing anything wrong except exercising free speech, and the guy who hit him, he was wrong. So let this guy go. If that's what you want to set, but I hope you remember that's going to be a president that's going to be across the board. A person who's antagonized, and that's you cannot antagonize people. Always, you can just say that. No, you can't say that about anything. And the whole point is, if there is, oh, you can say that about. I was just saying hello, and the person got mad at me. Well, if that's the truth, they'll take a look at it. They will take a look at that. That's what it is. You and a person, you get in a confrontation, and if you have witnesses, and it says, I just said hello this morning, and this person started running up on me, getting upset with me, and that person assaulted me, and I was just saying hello this morning. Yeah, they'll take that into account. They also take into account if you was using provocative language and racial slurs. But maybe they won't. We'll have to see. And his whole point in getting his right, I don't think he's going to get his right. Even if this shoot is designated a clean shoot and he's released, he's not going to get his riot. He's just not going to get his riot. I mean, the country has matured to a certain degree, but it will be interesting to see how this thing plays out. And it does go beyond the pale when you start talking about free speech. It pushes the limits of a free speech in the sense it's pushing it way out there. I've seen it way out there. There's that guy who stole his hat. The white guy who stole his hat has a pod, some piece of a pod. Somebody put a clip up where he takes gasoline and he pours it on some chicken and he eats a couple of bites of it. So you got people out here that's trying to create content and it's coming out of just everywhere and anywhere. So this guy right here, I mean, and then when you say intentions, how do you know? You don't know, how do you know? But unfortunately, we might have a dead black man. We'll figure that out. I guess they got to contact the family. They'll release the information. And you do have to wonder, man, given it that Chud's been walking around there, he's been arrested twice. Twice he's been arrested. He's been seen, he's on video attacking young women using racial slurs and insults. He's been seen doing this, and you have to wonder why are they just letting this guy do it? Is it because he's a white guy? So because he's white, he gets to just go and wreak havoc wherever he wants to wreak havoc, and you can't say there's nothing the people can do about it. The people have to engage him, even after he has a history of doing it. And then he's posted on his page that those are his intentions, and they're just letting him walk around and let me tell you something. There is a law called trespassing. You can trespass a guy. They can you can trespass him to the whole city. He can do what he wants. He just can't come in the city. And on site, if they see you, the police see you, they can arrest you. And then guess what? That's another violation. Like I said, you start accumulating all these crimes that they can take other matters in hand. Well, yeah, this guy was a nuisance. He was deliberately down there. He's on video cursing out people. He's on video starting fights. He's been telling people that he's got bear spray. He's got a weapon. He's been threatening people. It's a belief that this guy, and there's a belief that this guy took another man's life. What's going to happen to him? What punishment is he going to suffer from? Will there be any punishment? Will anyone come out and I mean, isn't it crazy, man? Now the people in charge, what are they going to do? What are the people in charge going to do? I've seen it. Are they going to let this guy just walk? Are they going to be legally responsible for the individual who lost his life? Individuals posting this on his social media responsible? If social media is being used to finance someone's criminal activity and they're paying these guys a kick and pump and all these different streams, can they not be brought into court for being a conspirator in this man's, in the deletion of this man? I think you have a case. I think you have a case. I think if you have an individual posted on a social media platform, they have illegal, evil intentions. They have illegal, evil intentions. You have this individual posted on this social media platform. I think they have a case. I think you have a case, and I think you have an opportunity to seek financial restitution because they're platforming this guy. Look, they can platform whatever they want. We agree with that. But if there's someone on there and they're doing criminal activity, they're doing what he's doing, that family of that man has a right to sue because if it wasn't for that, this wouldn't have happened. And this guy's going out with a cameraman. This cameraman's got to be brought in. He's walking around with another individual holding a camera. It's a witness. And this is the first time you can't see his video. This is the first time you can't see the video. Well, he said most southern states have stand your ground laws. Okay. You can have a stand your ground law. The issue would be, can you do a stream, and within your stream, you're telling people what you're going to do? Can you do that? Can you say, hey, I see this room full of people. I'm going to go in there and start using racial slurs. And if one of them touches me, I'm going to grab my pistol. Can you do that and put that on a social media site? Yeah, I don't think you can do that. I think there's some, and when you start talking about a civil suit, that's a lower means of guilt. So, yeah, the family, if this, and it hadn't been released, families need to compile, get a suit together because they can get a judgment on this guy. And this guy, and he can get all the GoFundMe and all he wants, but they can then press this guy. And we know there'll be many after him. We know that. We know there'll be many, many, many more to come. But that's one of his tweets, a dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Yeah, that's what he said. Now that you put something like that out, especially if this guy's lost his life, this is a homicide, they're going to compile a case. And what is he going to do? Just say, you say he would have to be released. If he's charged and he's pending trial, he can't get involved in any more of that activity. So what's he going to do? Premeditated, aggravated assault with intent to harm, guilty. I'm just saying they'll use that to free him. It looks like it. It looks like it. Looks like that's what they're trying to do. That's what it looks like. And that's living under terrorism. That's harassment. So you have no recourse for people to slander your racial history. You have no legal recourse. You just have to take it. So if you're on an airplane and you're in the wrong seat, somebody can come on there and say, move your ass, nigga. You're in the wrong seat. And if you respond, you're chimping out. They can then refer to you as a monkey. And that's what they would be co-signing. So you can just humiliate the Negro. The Negro me, that's the Dred Scott case. Negroes don't have rights. They don't have the rights. You can't. If a white man versus a white man, the law is practiced different. White man versus a Negro, you there's a little bit more leeway in that. You can do more in a situation like that. You can cause more harm. You can clown more. That seems like the direction we're headed, man. Chud, here we go. There we go. Chud has successfully achieved his goal. There was a man taken down on Twitter. They're saying the man's lost his life. Looks like they're trying to find the man's family. Chud, in the process, was grazed or he shot himself or something. He's being taken in. Um, he put up the tweet. I don't know where, and we know what he's been saying. And like you said, the point is start trigger off a race war. Hopefully, he can get a race war started. And then what? Chud, after the race war before, what then what we're going to do? Once we have the race war, then what? Then what? Mission accomplished? And how is that good for the country if we're how is it good for the country if we're having a race war and in the process of having a race war, people are losing their lives? How is that good for America? How is that good for America? And how do we come together as a people, as a collective, if there's an individual who's intentionally letting the world know he's trying to start a race war? So Jim Crow. Yep, Jim Crow 2.0, man. Look at the, yep, once again, the Negroes on the bottom. Even in this incident, you would think it would be the Negro out there causing problems, given that his opportunity to express himself from an electoral possibility has been that's been denied from him. You would think it would be Negroes out there. They're not. It's a white guy out there who's posting up and making money and getting GoFundMe's, and there might be somebody's lost their life behind all of this foolishness. And this would be a great case. This would be the perfect case to get back on social media and say, hey, these social media platforms are letting these guys make money and they're doing all types of illegal things to people, and they think it's funny and they're profiting from that. That's when you go after that platform. You go after that platform with a suit. There's a family to this guy. If this guy has a kid, now if he's got a kid, that's even they can go a lawyer can go reach out and they can file a suit. Now they can't, they're not witches. They can't bring him back to life, but they can sue this guy and hold this guy accountable if it was a wrongful death, if they felt that. And where are we trying to go, man, as a country? This is what we're headed. So this is what we're headed. We're at each other's throats now. And we see CNN's picked up the story. It's going to gain momentum. Eventually, someone's going to ask either JD or Trump about it. And it'll be interesting to see how they answer that question. Is this a question of free speech? Is this just a question of free speech, or is this something else? He says, for 50 years of my life, I never heard the name Jim Crow. I have. I heard it quite a bit. Now, in every interview, you hear from Democrats about illegal immigrants. No, they're not talking about illegal immigrants. You can make it about illegal immigrants, but Jim Crow and illegal immigrants, nope. Not, they're talking, when they say Jim Crow, that's blacks. That's blacks. And you're going back to the days of slavery when black people had no say. That's basically what you want to go back to, because that's what you're saying. Now it's Democrats. How do you know they're Democrats? I mean, now they're Democrats, you know. And you're right. You're right, Edward. To a certain degree, you're right. You're right, Edward. This Negro, right? You don't care about this man who may have lost his life. You don't care, right? You don't care about this man. You talking about Chud, and you hope he gets heals up and they let him out. And the Democrats are talking about Jim Crow because you don't know. Jim Crow never bothered you. It never applied to you. And you don't care now black people have to live under terrorism. So now if you just want to, you work hard, you want to go to the park and enjoy your life in America, the American dream. Now people can pepper you with racial slurs. And if you say something, then shoot you. Yeah, that's the home of the free and the land of the brave right there. That's what I call liberty. That's what I call liberty for black people. Isn't that something? A family of four go to a park. It's a sunny day. Now you can just walk up to them, pelt them with racial insults. And if they be so bold to say something back, you can then take their lives. And this guy saying, what you Negroes complaining about? He's saying, what you Democrats complaining about? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? This guy really thinks that. And we're going to see, man, we, you know, from a society standpoint, we are all interwoven, but we'll see if America can function without the blacks. We'll see if we can go back to back of the bus, colored restrooms. You can't eat at this restaurant, or you can eat here but not sit. You can't sit in the seats. All of these were laws. And Trump says, let's send all of this power back to the states. All of these were laws. So if the states, you know, plenty of states, they don't care. They'll go right back to Jim Crow. And they'll make an option. They'll say, well, if you want to do it, you can have and it's just a matter of time. I'm waiting on that. I haven't been seeing it. It's a matter of time somebody puts a whites only on their shop. It's just a matter of time. Of course, someone's going to challenge it. But the Supreme Court can kick it back and say those are states' rights. They said, well, you'd have to move. They said that state can do what they want in that situation. Separate but unequal, yeah. Yeah. Separate but unequal. Chud has been shot. A man, it's been said on Twitter that another man has been has left us. Said a man was shot in his stomach, and the guy rushed Chud, and there's something about that's when another shot, maybe he got shot in the arm. And yeah. He said we don't have to eat next to them. We don't have to spend our money with them either. Build our own. Well, you're going to have that. You're going to have guys like Frederick, right, who don't necessarily have an issue with segregation. They don't have an issue with restaurants and things like that, you know. And we've been down that path. It's never been left the same, you know. We've been down that path, but in the meantime, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this Chud guy? What are we going to do? We're about to begin the trial for the The kid, remember the kid who deleted the two white kids? The black kid deleted the two white kids. We're about to begin that trial, I think, on the 1st of June. Ain't that something hot for summer? They're going to begin that trial. In the midst of this, you got guys like Chud running around. And yeah, and if you're saying his intention is to trigger a race riot, well, you can understand that, right? You can understand what his intentions are. You know, we can come together and say that he failed. But I don't know if you can just say he failed, because we got to see what's going to happen with this. We got to see what's going to happen. He said, no kissing, no ass. I heard you, brother. Big Pontiac says we need to stop entertaining. Yeah, but that's ridiculous. You know what, man? You know what? You know what? You know what, bro? You guys, you know what? I'm starting to think you guys just some trolls, man. I think you some white guys. You know that black people don't talk like that, man. We need to stop entertaining whites. We're entertaining them. The Chud's the one entertaining them. Chud's the one bothered. Chud's the one going over there to them. That's another thing that's gonna play into it. You do have freedoms. You had a freedom to leave. You had a freedom to report your crime. You have the freedom to let other people take care of that. When you say I'm gonna go over, then you're going over with intentions. You already put on your social media that you're trying to start a race war. You put on your social media, you're trying to create problems. You know, and we're gonna have to say from a legal standpoint, allegedly on all of this stuff, because we gotta let the big lawyers and all that stuff hammer this stuff out. But we believe that this is what it takes, man, and we're going to become further apart. Now look at that. We're about to get on college football season, pro football season. So what are we going to do about that? So what we're going to do, all the black people go to the right side, all the white people go to the left side. So what about on the field? What about on the football field? So what are we going to do? So that's the type of country we've become. This guy's made it. If you want to make it to CNN, go follow his blueprint. He's on CNN. He says he has a kid. He says that his wife told him he's changing the kid's name. She won't let him see his kid. This guy's pushing his mission. He showed, I mean, I hope it's worth it for him, man. I hope it's worth it. Said create our own leagues. Well, you know what, Big Pontiac? Hold up. What we're going to do, man, we've been going for a while. Let me drop my join link, man. Take your thoughts. What do you think about this guy? What do you think? You think he's going to be successful? Is he going to turn the country? Are we going to be against each other? Are we going to be mad at each other? That's easier said than done, Big Pontiac. Just saying things like that, you got to have money to do that. You got to have investments to do that. You think black people are in a position to start making their own leagues? Signing their own deals, their own contracts? Show me. I don't think they're even close to being in that position. You can say that the Civil War was de facto freedom. It wasn't real freedom. It was probably 60% freedom. Constantly, blacks were governed. Just all types of things were put out there. He says semi-pro is cheap to produce. You should go get a semi-pro team then, brother. You should go and get you a semi-pro team. We have colleges and banks, so why not? Okay. You might have to. The way things going, the way things are going, you might see it. When you say states' rights, the states have the right. So states might make it like this. You're going to have a state that's going to say, hey, we're going to be segregated. We don't care what you think about it. This state is segregated. Blacks to the right, whites to the left. We'll see, man. They have all that stuff has to be challenged. And the Supreme Court would then, we'll see if they hold it up. We'll see if they then hold it up or they change it. But this guy, I didn't want anybody to engage this guy. I hope this guy. I'm seeing on Twitter they're saying he's lost his life. I hope this guy didn't lose his life. I said it several times. Don't engage this guy. Let this guy do what he wants. They said he went toward them though, and all of that came from that. So this wasn't a guy, and he was ready. He was ready. So, and I don't know what kind of anger it takes to have where you want to take somebody out like that. I don't. I don't even know where that type of anger comes from. But he's trying to trigger a race riot and he's trying to create more problems. And we fall further and further behind, man. And that's where we stand. All of the professional leagues, you got to have money, man. You know what? But Big Pontiac, you right. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what direction we go in. If the Negroes want to have their own leagues, if the Negroes choose to have their own leagues, then they're going to have to pay for them. So we'll see that. We'll see if that works. Our own government. There you go. We'll see, man. We'll see how that plays out. You know, you had the great George Floyd protests in Minnesota. They burned down a police um, station. All types of problems in Minnesota. And now, what, a couple of years later, we're at a point now where a man's life may have been taken over the use of the dreaded N word. The use of the dreaded N word, a man's life may have been taken. We got Chud the builder. A report comes out. This was a guy that's been on the internet. He's been saying, don't chimp out. Now, the chimp out stuff, that's straight off of Stormfront. This is before what that somebody said the internet is about 2008, 2009. Yeah, this was coming from say 95. I think I saw it on 95. Stormfront. Stormfront had all of this chimp out. They had a forum. It was a message forum, and the name of the forum was Chimp Out. And it was a lot of police officers on that forum. And they would talk about things they were doing throughout, just through the years, right? And they were saying the Dindus didn't do nothing. That was one big thing about he was a Dindu. Hey, that guy's a Dindu. And they would, people always say didn't do nothing, so they called them Dindus. And then you had this chimp out. Chimp out was when people lost their temper or they lost their mind. They referred to it as chimp out. Now Church walking around here talking, using that same language, and Man, it's hard to believe. Us a black man has met his maker, man. A black man is down now. Um, and yeah, he said, we'll see. It'll be a clean shoot. And you Negroes are going, well, he said chimps. You chimps are going to tear down the buildings. I mean, that's why I don't think so. I think you'll have some people, but no, most of the people, they're going to leave it up to the courts. This is crazy, though, when you think about it, bro. And yeah, there has been a call to Negroes because, when you listen to the hip hop community, when you listen to their music, they're always talking about violence. You got all of these people on these social media sites. All they talk about is violence. All they talk about is harming the other person. You see these guys. These guys are thugs. You got a bunch of thugs, criminals, guys who've done hard time. You see them running around. Hip hop community, you see them trying to be in the community. Where are these guys at? And see, that goes to their conditioning because one thing about slavery taught black people to worship whites and they could render harm to blacks. And that still has existed. Even under this de facto freedom, that still existed. And you see that's what I was saying. Anybody who's been in the South, anybody who's been in the South knows that you can go to a strip club and you can see two white dudes, and it's 80% black women and 20% uh Mexicans or something. You can see two white dudes in that club, and they get special treatment all day, like they're celebrities. And walking out, nobody bothers them. It could be somebody in the parking lot clowning, and they're not going to bother them. I was at the strip club. It was years ago. There was a dude. He was the cousin. One of the dancers got dropped off by this guy. This was a family member because she said it was a family member. He was running around the parking lot saying $10 to park, $10 to park. Come on, man, $10 to park. Right. So people were coming up saying some of them were paying, a lot of them they kept driving. Right. They went to a different side. So anyhow, when people got in, they said, "Hey, there's a guy out there. You guys charging people to park?" The manager said no. So there's a guy out there saying $10 to park. Well, let me tell you why I'm telling this story. A couple of white guys came up. Well, it was one car, two white guys. He didn't bother them. If a black person tried to park, now he wasn't supposed to do it. It was a hustle, right? It was a hustle, and he was eventually run off. But if a black guy was to park, he demanded $10. White guy demand his parks. He lets the man be a patron. He left him alone. That's why I'm saying you guys really think there's some type of ill feelings toward whites. It doesn't exist. It may have existed, but it don't exist now. And I've seen it so many times. Those are some of the most safest people coming in and out of those clubs, all those businesses. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. I'm just simply making a point that people keep saying, why is Chud capable of doing it? Well, people just don't harbor a resentment of Chud in the way that society portrays it. And unfortunately, we might have a man who's lost his life now because of all of this YouTube stuff, all of this social media stuff. And this is a guy, you want to talk about a lawsuit though, man. His people, you go from one platform to the next, you got arrest, and then you on the internet saying stuff like this. Man, that's going to be interesting how that plays out. Chud's been deleted. Well, not Chud. There's a guy, and they're giving out updates. And of course, you're going to have the usual suspects chiming in. says if you go to a place and intentionally instigate people, then shoot one of them. If they attack you, you lose the self defense argument in court. The jury would be looking at hours of this moron tweet streams calling dozens. Interesting. Yeah, and there's an audio out here. Yeah, I've seen it. The big people, they jumped on it. It's on the big blog sites now. There's an audio of him telling people what happened. But see, the problem with that, that's his version. That's his version. And yeah, this will get him a lot of money, though. He'll get the GoFundMe. There are people who want us to have a race riot. They want that to happen. And I'm looking at this picture. Says the guy was life flighted to another hospital. Yeah, and they're saying that guy lost. That guy died. I'm looking at social media. They're saying that he lost his life, man. So of all of this social media stuff, we got an um, individual that's been taken down, man. And where are we now? Where do we stand? Where do we stand? Where are we? I'm just saying, are we better off now? Are we better off now with all of this stuff and triggering a race riot? Is that what we need to do now? Is that what we need? We need someone who's running around trying to trigger a race riot? That's where we stand. Chud the builder has been, he got shot. Another individual was shot in the stomach. That individual was life flighted to another hospital. Unconfirmed. People are saying, hospitals, individuals who are in the know, they're coming on social media saying that man's lost it. That man is gone. They're saying that man's been deleted. So you got a man that's been deleted. You have an individual who's no longer with us, and this guy's been all these different platforms saying that he should have a right to call black people niggers. And if they chimp out, he should have a right to shoot them and claim it's about free speech. So this is going to be something to see in the courts, man. The pegging, that's going to come out, but I don't think at this point people even I don't think it even matters to people that this guy gets pegged out. They don't care. Or allegedly, he hasn't, he certainly, they'll ask him about it. I don't know. I don't know. But there's probably some, you have to wonder what's going on to make a guy even do something like this. You risking your life. But I'll tell you this now, wanted, if he wanted people to notice who he was, he's got their attention now. He's got all their attention now. So if that's what he was trying to do, if he was trying to accomplish, if he was trying to achieve the attention of others, he's done it effectively. This is a national case. Let me see. Let me go take a look. Let me see if Fox got it. No, I don't. Fox hasn't picked it up, so we'll see. It's still in the local programs. Let's see. Somebody said CNN. CNN picked it up. Let's see. Yep. You made it to CNN. It says live streamer Chud, the builder known for posting controversial videos with racial slurs, is in custody after shooting incident. The DA says he's in custody. So um, there was an allegation about him. We don't know, someone says they were waiting for this to happen. He harasses people, literally calling them N words. It was only a matter of time. His niche is he has a niche to incite racial disharmony and violence. Yeah. More copycats. Yeah, more violence. Uh you're gonna see more and more of this. Saying that he might even get away with it. He's took the life of an innocent man and maybe even get away with it. The actual video is still available, if you want to look through that. But yeah, reward. Yep, they're rewarding them. They're rewarding him. It's going to be interesting how this thing plays out, man. It's going to be an interesting thing to see exactly how this plays out. And there's a certain group of people who don't want black people to have rights. So they're going to hop in support of Chud. And that's really what the case is. And, we're going to see all of this stuff coming out because they're going to lie and say it's about free speech. It isn't about free speech. Like he said, he wanted to lay one of these chimps down. And then, like he said, he wants you to riot. And I guess he thinks that if they riot, something's going to come of that. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to come of that. If that's what you want, so he'll probably get away with it. I think he's going to get away with it. If he gets away with a hate crime, it's going to incite more racists to come at us. Yeah. Yep. Yep. You're going to see that more and more. You're going to see it. And you got to convince a jury that what he was saying isn't hate speech. And my thing is intentions, man. If your intention is to go out to a group of people, a collective group, and cause harm to those people, aggravate those people, and then harm those people, I think you do have to look at that person's. You have to look at that person, what that person's intentions were. I think you do. I think you do have to say this guy has bad intentions. He's not trying to. He's not here. He doesn't come in peace. He's coming, with an agenda, and it looks like a racial agenda. He has an agenda, man, a racial agenda, and he's trying to cause harm. Like the stream, man. Bless the cash app, man. Support the platform. What we doing over here? This Chud thing, I'm pretty much tired of it myself, man. But because of what happened, we had to go ahead and speak on it. We had to discuss it for a minute. So I was born in Jim Crow America. Has always been racist country, whether or not you're old enough or smart enough to realize it. Uh, yeah. Well, they can try to fix it. There's things they can do to try to fix it. You out of here. He says he's retired, living in Mexico and Colombia. There you go, man. I get a bunch of people, man. They don't want to live in America now. They don't like all these problems. That's not attracting people. When you say tourism, that's going to hurt you, man. They're going to hurt you. When you look at America and what's going on, becoming draconian and all of that stuff. Say if he was doing this to the LGBT community, well, that would be considered hate speech. If you were to go into an area that's known a LGBT situation, I mean a known area, and within that area you're live streaming and you're putting on your page, you have the intention of your free speech. You're tired of your free speech being curtailed, and your intention is to go there and use uh, words, negative words, because it's yeah, you would be. There ain't no way they would let you get away with that. There's no way. I mean, if you did that, what do you think? And they said, well, those people better not overreact, because if they overreact, I'll put a bullet in them. And this is my free speech. But who knows? Who knows with Chud the Builder? Who knows? Who knows who he's motivating? Who knows what's going to happen in the future? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's just a matter of time. How will you know? He don't. He said, Why doesn't he go after Jews, Asian, Indians, gays, or Hispanics?" Yeah, his anger is toward blacks. And you got to see how the courts handle something like this. Yeah, it is. It's going to change the way things are. It's going to set a precedent where future case are going to be held. I think that it's dangerous to do that because see if it works both ways. If they say it's okay for him to do that, right? They say, well, free speech. That's gonna mean it ain't gonna just be copycats on one side. It's gonna be you're gonna see blacks go after white communities. You're gonna see people go after the gay community. You're gonna see that all over. If they say, well, hey, free speech, okay. Well, they're gonna have a mess. They're gonna have to clean that all up. You're gonna see people going after the Jewish community, and they're gonna have to clean all that up. You got a man that's targeting young people, targeting women, and it looks like a black man has bit the dust, despite the fact that there were warnings all over the place about this guy. Everybody was telling this guy, warning the world about this guy. Looks like a black man has bit the dust. And you do have, I mean, from the standpoint of a family, they have a legal. You can go after these streaming companies, man. You can go after all of these social media companies. If they are letting someone on that platform and that person is doing what he say doing, and they're basically streaming doing it, yeah, you can sue the company for giving them the platform, giving them an opportunity to just look at you and cause these problems. You could do that, no problem at all. No problem at all. It's just a matter of time. Like the stream, brother. X is yeah, well, we know X is gonna do it. I think people by now see X is porn. X is nothing but porn and hate. That's where X. That's matter of fact. That's where I found out who this guy was on X. That's where I found. I didn't know who he was until I went to the X and I looked around and I found out who this guy really was. And nobody's surprised by this, man. People are also gonna come around and they're gonna say, how come this guy was allowed to do this so long? It wasn't like he never got arrested. He had two arrests. Prior to this, he was arrested twice. He was in the system. Why was he allowed to get away with this? And if you got a family member that's gone now, what are you gonna say? Your family member hung out downtown. A man was using social media to commit crimes, and your family member is now deceased. You have a legal claim. You have a legal claim, and I'm if he has a child, that's where you can get a lawyer come in, and a lawyer just say, "Leave it to me. I'll take care of it." They'll get their people and they'll compile all of that stuff, and they'll file their suit, and we'll see. We'll have to see how it plays out. Yeah, the Carmelo Anthony trial starts next month. More racism, more racial division, more racial division. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? More racial division in the midst of this. And what we're getting, what we're getting is that this man took someone's life. We're hearing that this man deleted someone. He took a man's life. That's what we're hearing. And we got to see how that plays out, man. Yeah, within the next, what, 2 weeks, you're going to have the Carmelo Anthony trial. Within the next 2 weeks, you're going to have the Carmelo Anthony trial. And then what are you going to do? How are you going to deal with that? And what about the jury? How are you going to put a jury? What about all of the freedoms and stuff we're promised? Fair trial by brought in front of your peers. What have we been talking about all this stuff? What have we been talking about? But this is where we are, man. And unfortunately for him, man, he's got shot. There's another individual that they had to medevac that they're saying on X, he's passed away. There's witness testimony on X that's giving you the version of what happened. You have him telling you what happened, but you have a version from witnesses that conflict to what he's saying. You know, people are saying he got hit in the back of the head. People are saying that he started all of this. Who knows, man? Like the stream, man. Who knows? Which way do you go with this thing, man? Like the stream, brother. He's going to jail for antagonizing. He's been doing. Oh yeah, he should be. We'll see, though, man. I'm just saying we're in the crossroads as a country. We're in the crossroads. So what? I mean, like, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen, man? That's what I'm saying. We have to wait and see what's going to happen because we don't know. We don't know. We're trying to figure it out. And what are they going to do? Are they going to protest? Huh. And they're saying Trump don't care, man. He don't care about race, like race relations. That's what they're saying. So I'm looking at a woman. She got arrested for abusing a pet. Now they showing her right here. The dog won't get up, and she's dragging the dog, and she's smacking the dog, and she got arrested for that. Now you're looking at you're looking at this Chad, the builder guy. It's quite possible he'll be let go. Ain't that something? Ain't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? She abused a pet, her pet. She'll probably get a fine or something for it. She got arrested for it. This man took somebody's life saying that, well, he assaulted me, so you can let me go. And that's what he wanted. Says he approached the man he shot. One of them punched Chud. I walked up to them because they were pointing at me. That's a reason to go into a crowd of strangers. That's what I do. When I see a crowd of strangers, I walk right into the middle of them. That's what I do. When I see that, that's what I do. Say you get what you give, brother. Somebody saying the guy was a veteran. Yeah, there are a lot of people supporting him though, saying that Negroes are out of control. Negroes need to calm down. It's their fault. They can't control themselves from an emotional standpoint. They're saying it's the Negroes' fault. Like, share, support, man. Where we at? What we at? What we doing? I don't even want to talk about this dude no more. I don't even want to talk about this dude no more. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, this happened. And it's going to have an after effect. We're going to find out the details probably later on today. You'll find out the guy's name. You'll find out the guy is deceased. We'll find out if they're going to charge him with anything. There'll probably be a demand from the community to charge him. But then again, they're going to take a look at the evidence they have. And even though he said he walked over there to him, even though he says I walked over there to him, they may look at that and say it was self defense. If you walk over to a group of strangers and one of them punches you, you can. Now, what I'm saying is when you say that, they got to understand that's going to apply across the board. So they're telling black people that they can walk around concealed carry, and if they walk into a group and someone punches them or someone comes after them, they can then pull their weapon out and defend themselves. So what's going to happen is when they make that decision, they're going to set a precedent within the society, a new normal, and we'll see exactly how that goes. Because I think that in the end, that's going to be one of the worst things you can do. Because you're going to have all types of. There's a lot of people out there like Chud, man. There's a lot of troublemakers out there. There are a lot of people who have their lives have gone in the wrong direction, and they dedicate their lives to incitement and stuff. There's a lot of people out there like that. There are a lot of people that. Why you think they get into those blogs, those race blogs? What do you think? What do you think drives them to find out? Stormfront and white supremacy. What do you think drives that? That's not people who are part of the system. There are people who are outside the system. That's that whole short radio wave crowd. I mean, short radio. You got people don't even listen to AM, short wave. But there's people who listen to that because they can relate to that. They relate to that type of content. It's black fatigue. It's black fatigue to go out and shoot someone in the stomach. And this is where we stand, man. This is where we're headed. And you have to wonder, is he trying to trigger a race riot and why? And what do we get out of having a race riot? Are we going to go back and relive the past, everything in the past? So now we're gonna go back to segregation. Uh, And isn't that what segregation was? Whenever the blacks would put something together, a town, the whites would then invade the town and burn it down. Isn't that what segregation was? Separate but equal. And when they had a robust economy, what happened? Whites would come and burn it down. Isn't that man? This is what he just said. I'm gonna walk around, uh, and I'm gonna provoke a black person to come after me or come at me, and then I'm gonna take his life. You see that? You see how he was free to live his life? He was free to do whatever he wanted to do, but his freedom meant he had to go and interfere with someone else, or he felt his freedom meant that he had the right to terrorize someone else, insult someone else. That's his freedom. Meanwhile, do you see black people saying that's their freedom? Do you see black men walking around saying, my freedom is to attack white people? My freedom is to go and stand around and just harass people. Do you see that? Yeah, Rosewood in Tulsa. So he's likely going to get away with it if it happened in Alabama. Okay. Okay, brother. Sweet home Alabama. Man, I'm just an observer, brother. I have no idea. I can't even believe that someone would even want to do this stuff. I get it. It is some bread out there. You're right. You got your GoFundMe. And there are people out there, there are bigots and racists who are wealthy and they'll put money on it. They'll funnel money to him. Yeah, he'll get a bag, he'll get money. But you still have to wonder why somebody would even do this stuff at all. That has to carry with it a certain amount of hatred. You got to hate black people to feel like it's cool to do you got to hate them to even think that that's cool what you're doing. That's someone looking for trouble. That is a troublemaker. When you do that, you are a troublemaker. You show me anywhere where they want troublemakers. That's someone looking for trouble. Your opinion about free speech, your opinion about black people or other racial groups, you can say that all day. Well, how come I can't say this? Well, look, they can call each other this, but I can't call them that. Okay. But to say I'm gonna act on that. First, let me go get my rifle. Let me go get my weapons. How can you do that? Why would you want to do that? It's a lot of money on social media if you peddle anti-blackness. You're right. You're right. You're right about that, Jesse Lee Peterson. That's what he does, man. He's not close to being the only one. There are plenty of people who've gotten a lot of money off of pushing anti-blackness. You got the Amber Rose. You got the Nick Cannons. You got all of these people that's stupid, but they push a hatred toward black people. And the sad thing about it, they got rich because of black people. And we keep judging people on their money. That's where we make our mistake. We judge people on how much money they make. We look at they got some money, they must be doing something right. I can understand that, but it is no kind of way or means descriptive of their intelligence or their intellect. There are a lot of idiots within that anti-blackness crowd. They're absolute idiots. Somebody brought up the Hodge twins. Yeah, these people, they know they're idiots. I mean, there's a story the Hodge twins talk about. back in the day, I guess it was in 2000s or whatever. He talked about when they were so hungry that he stole some sloppy joes. One guy went for a manwich, and he said when he got 2 cans of manwich, and he tells it on his platform. I think this is on the on the Hodge twins, yeah. And his brother said when he got the meat, he said when he got the ground beef, he waited, and when he got to a corner, he stuffed it. And one brother said he got out of there, and they didn't say anything. And he said he got the meat out of there, and he said they ate, and they laugh about it. They laugh about it. I mean, and a lot of people don't. We're so far removed from that too, man. When you talk about minimum wage, warehouse jobs, you talk about people who had to work in a warehouse for minimum wage. Now you're in the age of social media. Now you can go over here and get you a pump. You can go on Pump. You can go on Twitch. You can go on TikTok. You can live stream. And then you can turn around and have controversial content. And not everyone, but if fortunate, your channel will pop. And then you got people sending you money. You got people on TikTok just sending money. Live streaming on TikTok, just going on TikTok, battling people and getting paid. This is a wild world, man. It's so far removed from those days. Day labor. You need some money now. You need a good, you need a paycheck now. You did that 8-hour shift, man. You went in and you did that day labor. I remember it was 102 degrees on the roof, man. It was 102 degrees. It was 8 people. 8 people all went out to do a day labor job. I was one of those people. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning. No, I was a little bit later than that. It was like 7:30. We got there at 6. 7:30 in the morning without the sun even. The sun was barely coming up. It was 100 degrees. Never seen that type of heat. But needed the bread, man. Needed that money, man. Stayed up there. We went there 8 deep, 4 dudes. By 10 o'clock, 4 men quit. 4 men walked off that roof and say, it is too hot to work. I can't continue. And they said, okay, wrote their names down. They paid them. And the guy came back up and said, hey, we need this done. He looked over there at us. I said, man, I'm too broke to quit. I'm too broke to quit, man. I said, I would quit if I had some money, but that would sort of defeat the purpose of coming here. I came here because I need some money. So I made it through that 8-hour shift, man. And they had water and stuff like that. So after that, the guy, whoever he was, he came up to me and was like, hey, man, I like the way you work, man. Let me get your number. And I gave him my number, got my check, I cashed it. Next day, he called me up and said, hey, I need you to go to this address. And he said, I need you to take that, fix this, fix that. He said, that's all you got to do. Is I'm going to pay you for 8. He said, just give me a minute. Boom. You can pick it up. I went by his office, picked up the check. I was already paid. I went by there. It took me about an hour to do that. And after that, I mean, it was just by luck. It was a white guy. After that, we just developed a relationship. Well, that dude, he told me, he said, I need somebody who wants to work. He said, I got you. He said, what? He said, if you got the time to do it, I got the job. He said, you tell me how much you want to do. I'll send it to you. Man, I came up. Man. I'm talking about I was back in the day. Bro, I came up. Bro, I went from being broke, man, all of a sudden that money started coming in. And he was paying me for 8. I was doing like 2 hours work. But because he needed me and he wanted me to do it, he said, don't worry about it, man. He said, I'm going to pay you for 8. Any job I ask you to go for, you get 8 hours for it. He said, we might have a conversation about the amount of pay, but you're going to get 8 hours because it depended on the job. Man, I'm thinking about that now. Dude took care. I don't know who that dude is. I met that dude on the roof when it was 102 and them 4 dudes quit. And that, see, you got to understand, they have a job. They have to get the job complete. They can't have people quitting and stuff. And they can't control the weather. So the guy said he found somebody. I was broke, man. He found somebody who needed that money, man. Found somebody. I needed that bread, brother. That man, he said, okay, I want you to go to the Coke factory. I was like, okay. He said, do this. He said, just stay there. He said, don't leave till 1 o'clock. He said, don't worry about it, but don't leave till 1. Hang around till 1. I got there, I think, at 10. I did what it was at a Coke plant. It was like stacking Cokes. I was in there. The other people were in there. They didn't know me. I didn't go over to them and start a fight. I didn't go over there calling them racial slurs. No, they didn't know me. So they were sitting there. I came in. I started stacking the Coke, stacking the Coke, stacking the Coke, stacking the Coke. Took me about an hour. So it was like 11. I hung around, moved, stayed. I went into an office. I remember I went into the office, sat down in the chair, and I just dozed off a little bit. Looked at my watch. It was like 12:30. I went back out. I walked around. There was some more. The forklifts had bought some more crates of drinks. I went and moved them drinks, removed them, moved them over, moved them over, moved them over. Moved. By the time I was done, it was like 1:25. After that, nothing was there. And them dudes, I saw all the people working there. They were just sitting there waiting on something else to happen. It was like nothing gonna happen till about 6. I didn't say nothing. I just slowly left. I had already had my 8. I got up, went home, went to sleep, got up next morning, did another 8, had another job, did another 8. Then I took his stuff on the side. So I appreciate that dude, bro. And I had a ball. I think I went out to Bourbon Street on his money. We got Chud. Chud got in an incident today with a black man. He put a bullet in that man. That man was airlifted, life lifted to the hospital. Conversations on Twitter say the individual has lost his life. Chud, on the other hand, they're saying that the man rushed Chud, and in the process, Chud shot himself in the arm. Right now, he's being held in custody. This is going to be a big moment for us as a people. Are they going to charge him, or are they going to let him go? And then the next thing would be, what is he going to do? Is he going to go right back to doing it again? He'll be right there walking up and down the street with the hat on and the pistol. And also the social media platforms, can they not be sued? If that was a family member of yours, would you not go to a lawyer and take them to court and say, my cousin, my family member is deceased because a man was on the internet saying he was going to do this. And now we're without my cousin. You guys are financially responsible. Let me tell you something. You let them take a look at that. Just like the Facebook, you saw the people. I need to put my case in on that. Mark Zuckerberg or whatever, the Facebook, you saw they sued Facebook and they got a judgment. And they say they're waiting on something else now. I think they won, but they're trying to see how much, because they say that's when all the people going to come in. I need to go and get my case in right now. I do. I need to sue them. I do anyhow. We got to see what direction this thing is going on. I know Nick Fuentes says it was bad taste. It was low. It was just low brow. It was low brow. It was disrespectful. And in addition, he's trying to trigger a race riot. So what do they want from black people? No, I'm just being for real. If they're trying to trigger, if Chud is being paid, right, on the back end to do these things and they want a race riot, so what do they want from black people? I'm very serious. What do they want from you? You want a race riot? You want them? Is that what you want from your black citizens? You want them to feel unsafe? You want them to feel violated? when they decide to just go out and about, if they want to go and patronize a business, you want them to feel unsafe. Yeah, you do have to wonder, what do you want from black people? Like the stream, man. Support the platform. What do you want from black people? What do you not want their participation? Do you feel like they are insignificant? So what do you want? And then let's talk about the older black people. What about a black woman over 50? What do you want from her? Do you want to humiliate her? And then what do you get? You want to teach her to stay in her place? What? She probably doesn't even leave the house like that. So you want her to stay in her place. What's up with you, American Negro? So what do you want from blacks? That's what I'm saying. I don't he say he wants a race riot. What? You just want to create one to do what? Teach Negroes what? We've already lost our districts. What you want to teach the Negro now? Yeah, well, I mean, like when you think about this stuff, what's the point? We already lost. You know, if we got to vote in groups, many our voices will be unheard. So what do you want to teach black people? And that's always been the issue with white supremacy. See, like I said, white supremacy is a very active position. It's not a passive position. They're looking to harm. A white supremacist is looking to cause harm to non-whites. They just are. It's not about no day. Let's all get along and nope. They're looking for a reason to harm you. They want to harm you. They're not going to let you just live your life. No, they want to harm you. And they justify it and say you deserve it. And this is crazy. We're at a crazy time now, man. And Fox News never picked it up. Ain't that something? Fox News is normally first. Man, Fox News, any type of incident, the Carmelo Anthony thing, man, Fox News, they literally flew. I mean, like Superman to throw Carmelo Anthony face on a mugshot and those two white victims. Bruh, they were like, they haven't covered this Chud the Builder thing, though. Now, it's on CNN. I don't see it on Fox News. They mistakenly forgot. No, they're not going to. They don't want to cover it. They're going to wait to see if he gets away with it. They're waiting to see if they're going to let him off. Then they'll cover it then. And they'll have the black guy that's on Fox and Friends. He'll say, and yeah, listen, it was a clean shoot. Yeah. I tell my kids, I say, you got to control yourself. And black people, they just can't control themselves. Well, I hope that they learn from him now. Not to say that this Chud guy is some type of hero. But I know what they do it all the time. They're going to let the black guy say it. And they're going to both, the other two co-hosts going to be saying, yeah, we got to calm down. Yeah. That's the game, bro. That's the game we play, man. Bro, it's a lot of pent up anger. I mean, people, they mad at black people, man. I don't know what they mad, but they mad at black people, man. And I think it has everything to do with black people being free from slavery. They just mad. If you look at Roots, remember they freed him, they went in there and tried to kill him. So what is he mad about? That people are mad at black people, man. They just don't like. And there's a video of him saying, he didn't like. He saw a black guy with money. He didn't like that. And that stuff is real, man. There are people out there who they hate the fact that you live better than them. They hate the fact that you come home to a better life than they have. They hate the fact that you're, from a financial standpoint, your house is better, your car is better. And just across the board, your life is better. They hate that. They hate that. And especially when they're going through problems themselves. I didn't know it went to this point where you would go and get a weapon, though. I didn't know. I didn't. I see it does, though. And you can really look at this as the Obama effect. Obama created so much hostility in snowflake white men like Chud the Builder that they've lost their minds with hate and anger. And they're walking around talking about free speech with a pistol in their pocket. And now we might have a man deceased. So they hate that we prevailed and lived better than them against all the odds, and this country was built for them. Yeah, you could go back to the plantation, the slaves. Remember, they would give the hog, they would take the hog, they would take the top cuts of the hog for themselves, and they would give their slaves. They got to feed them. So you got to remember that they had to feed them. They would give them the intestine. They would give them the worst parts of the hog, and the slaves over time learned how to cook that food to make it edible. It smelled good, things that you would normally throw away. They learned how to cook it and eat it. And they said sometimes even the master would ask for a plate of chitlins. He didn't cook chitlins. And they would give him a big mess of chitlins, a big old mess of them. What's that? Colonel Sanders and Colonel Rib. Colonel Sanders is a plantation owner, and Colonel Rib is a slave owner. Both of those are two, they are patterned after two slave plantation masters. Colonel Sanders and Colonel Rib. Oh, they were already talking about that. They're talking about bringing him back. They're going to make a big deal about it. Now, Lane Kiffin came out. We might just do a podcast on that because Lane Kiffin said he hated that. He hated the racial history of University of Old Mississippi. Say he hated it. The Colonel Rebel character, the Confederate flag. He said he hated that. And this is a lesson to Negroes, man, to wake up. This is waking you up to let you know where you stand. They don't care about your privacy. They don't care about your money. They don't care about your pursuit of happiness. They don't care about that. They want to harm you. And like he said, and get away with it. This is a wake up call to any black American. This is a moment for them to realize what they're dealing with, man. Like the stream, man. What we doing over here, man? Let me see some update on Chud. Let me see. Yeah, and I'm seeing another guy saying a man's life was taken. Just got a confirmation from an inside source. The man has passed away. Yeah. And you might have the family reach out to a lawyer in addition to pump whatever the stream he was on. In addition, they may reach out to a lawyer about the city of Nashville because this clown's been running around there for a while. He's been running around there for a while. They haven't said nothing to this man. This man's been out here screaming at young women. When I say young women, I'm talking about young women, right? He can, if they want to, they're younger, right? But what I'm saying, when you look at him, he's a 28-year-old man and he's yelling at these 20, 19-year-old women, just screaming at him at the top of his lungs. That's just inappropriate, man. That's just the wrong way to behave. I mean, unless you're looking for trouble, that is something you do if you're looking for an argument, if you're looking for a fight. That's is the way you conduct yourself. If you're trying to harm someone, if you want to cause problems to someone, that's how you behave. But that's not the way someone who is a hero, that's not how they behave. Like the stream, brother. I'm looking at him right now. They're wheeling him out, putting him in the back of the ambulance. Yeah, that's crazy, man. The story, the plot thickens, bro. So they made a song called Chimp Out. Oh, man. I'm looking at this video right here. A black man walks down another black man. He's got on red and he's confronting this other black man and he's yelling at this black man. Yeah, and they're going back and forth. And the black man turned his back on him. So the guy comes in and the guy pulls out his pistol. White guy shoots him. The guy goes into a gas station. He's arguing with a black man, two black men. One guy standing outside. The other guy comes up, argues with him, threatens him. Then he walks into the store. And while he's in the store, the other guy comes in the store. He pulls out his pistol. He's talking loud, threatening. White guy was in there trying to get something, just a customer. He so pulled out that pistol. White guy turned out. He pulled that pistol out and was threatening the other black guy. White guy who's got his conceal and carry shoots him. Shoots the black guy once. Shoots the black guy again. And you know what he didn't do? He didn't raise a hand. Look, the white guy is a hero in this, right? But you know what he didn't do? He didn't raise a hand. Oh, that's right. I read this. That was a fake pistol. He was walking around with a fake pistol threatening people. And this white guy, and he did the right thing because this dude was menacing and this dude was a threat to him. He's in there trying, he's in the same place. And he's threatening this guy with a pistol. So the white guy did the right thing, and the white guy wasn't playing. He shot this guy a couple of times. And I would play it, but YouTube don't allow you to play stuff like that. They won't let you play that stuff. What it do, bro? What's up with you? What's up with you, though? Chud done got shot out here, man. CNN done picked it up. Fox News, they ain't touched it. I wonder why they scared of. What you scared of, Fox? Fox will probably touch this tonight. Black man, that's what I'm saying. You better be extra careful with what you have, man, because you can lose it all out here, man. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to mind your own business. They don't want you to raise your family, go to church, uh, love the Lord, and love your country. They don't want you to do that. They want to intimidate. They want to infringe on you. They want to come around you and disrespect you. And Chud is pushing that. Chud wants to start a race war. And when you ask him well, we know he's being, well, there's other things, right? But that's what I'm saying. Now he's gotten shot, and a black man is deceased behind this foolishness. Isn't that something, bro? You can have a story on the internet. You can have a story on the internet, and in that process, someone can lose their life. Someone can lose their life, man. And you say social media is good. You know, we was talking about BT. We was talking about all these magazines and stuff. It's worse. It's worse. Things are getting worse across the board, man. And it's just going to be interesting how this stuff plays out, man. Now we're supposed to be a country that's supposed to come together. And you got a man walking around with a pistol, putting on his social media. He's looking for a monkey and a chimp. He's waiting for a chimp out. You just have to wonder, man, what were we trying to prove? What we trying to prove with this, man? What's the point? What goals are we trying to achieve, man? Like, share, like the stream, man. Support the platform, man. Hit the super chat. Hit the cash app, man. We got the cash app up there. What we doing? What lessons have we learned too, man? We tried to live together. Where we at now? We got a man walking around talking about, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna provoke you, then I'm gonna shoot you. That's what we're doing. And if you don't shut up, Is that freedom for black people though? Is that what I'm saying? Is that really your freedom? So you can't be a man. They won't let you live as a man. They won't say, they say, hey, you can't live amongst us as an equal or a man, but you can be you can live as a second class citizen because if I'm on a plane and if you just misread the ticket, say you should be in C, but you're sitting in B, you should be in C. It's okay to walk up to me and say, hey, nigga, get out my seat. And we supposed to be cool with that. And if we cool with that, hey man, I like you because you controlled yourself. I mean, that's what we're doing. That's where we're at now. Is that what we're doing, man? That's where we at. Chud's been shot and he's trying to trigger, it's believed, allegedly, he's trying to trigger a race war. We'll see what the DA does. We'll see what the prosecutor does with this case. I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. We know he's already made his attempt. In addition, he's been arrested before, so he's known, and the police know him. Police are very familiar with this guy, whatever this guy's doing. Within that community, they have all types of local forums. He's on the Facebooks. He's on all of those things locally. Like the stream, man. Like the stream, man. Support the platform, man. We trying to figure it out, man. We trying to figure it out, brother. Chud. Let me see what I got on him. Says Chud has finally shot a black guy after months of antagonizing them, wanting them to chimp out so he can hurt them. Wow. Say he asked the man if he was going to chimp out, and the man walked up and punched him. And they said that's when he shot him or something like that. He says he's an animal, an ape, should be separated from functioning society. We can't function with these people. They chimp out when they don't get their way. There you go. Yeah, there are people already. There's a couple of guys they defending Chud. They're already defending them. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking. Hmm. Oh man. Yeah, yeah, Chud. We might be looking at a. We'll get some confirmation if there's charges or resolution. But on the internet, several blog spots are saying that that man has passed away. Chud was not seriously injured, and there's a couple of people who are now picking up the torch, saying that he's right to do what he's doing, and we're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out, man. It's only a matter of time. Like the stream, man. We out of here, brother.